The crisp and cool fall evenings, they're great for getting comfortable, popping some popcorn, and Vicky taking in a scary movie. Love it. Well, there's a long history in Nashville of people who know all about scary movies and things that go bump in the night.
In this Halloween season special, News Channel 5's Forrest Sanders gives us a look back on those who brought us so many fright nights.
Almost time to get started. Oh, but we've got to have some of that. Some of that too. Yeah, some of those. All right then, let's begin. There's this very exclusive club in Nashville. Larry Underwood's part of it.
Native Nashvilleian, lived here my whole life.
So, what's the club?
Come on this way, I'll show you my studio/dungeon.
Larry is a horror host.
My alter ego is Dr. Gangrene, the physician of fright.
You know what a horror host is, right? Among the most famous TV hosts of Fright Nights, Monster Fests, and Chiller Theaters is Vampira, Elvira, Svengoolie, and Joe Bob Briggs.
The host introduces the movie and really becomes a friend to the viewers.
And in Nashville, Larry's part of a horror host tradition bringing unpleasant dreams since the 50s.
The original was Dr. Lucifer, who was played by a guy named Ken Bramming. Transylvanian gentleman, a dapper horror host.
The early 70s brought new blood.
Sir Cecil Creep was played by Russ McCown. They crossed between the Hunchback of Notre Dame and Oliver Hardy. In the 90s, there was a horror host named Humphry the Hunchback, who was played by Barry McAllister.
And there was one more horror host of Nashville, one you'd find when you turned your dial to 5.
Good evening and welcome to Movies and Madness.
Bob McGee.
Something like that.
Is the count of 5.
If you're not getting enough madness in your movies, tune in next Sunday night.
His story here starts a bit before the count.
Channel 5 hired me in '73 to be the associate producer for a live morning show.
But when the station bought a monster movie package to show by around '78, they saw producer Bob as the right guy to host those late popcorn nights.
We had butcher paper because it soaks up blood.
Who is this woman?
Nobody's seen her since we did that.
Oh.
I'm at a store buying groceries early on a Saturday morning. There's this little kid hiding behind his dad's pants. His dad looks over at me and he says, "You're the guy that keeps me up every weekend."
And now, good evening.
The count went off the air in the early 80s. Bob eventually left 5 and worked years for Nissan. His life's now taken on a new chapter.
I had been a regular donor to the Red Cross, where I was deferred as a donor because Agent Orange finally popped up. I was in Vietnam. The result, I found out 3 years ago, was a blood cancer. Well, I'm taking a cancer pill every morning, but I'm also trying to stay active. If I can, racquetball 3 days a week. I'm trying to stay healthy.
But through these sometimes difficult days, Bob so enjoys the memories of his years as the Count. The people he met, knowing he was part of a Nashville tradition so unusual, so fun.
Camera 2, if you can get onto the band, please. Coming into 4 after this.
Dr. Gangrene's about to do a show in front of a live audience who love a good horror host.
They're campy, they're funny.
A guide to the ride.
I just love everything about it.
Gangrene continues something set more than 60 years ago, of hosts who rose from their tombs to scare Nashville.
20 seconds.
And some who still walk among us.
You never know when The Count may be back.
10 seconds. Cue Larry, please. 6 is live.
I'm happy to keep the horror host legacy alive in Nashville, Tennessee. It's something that I'm very proud of.
I'm Forrest Sanders, News Channel 5.
Thank you,
cool.
Forrest.
Right.
Get this, guys. By the way, Forrest asked Bob where his Count of 5 tuxedo, his tux, is today. He says he donated it to a local Goodwill about 40 years ago.
Wow.
Someone has a treasure out
They
there.
sure do.
I want it. All right.
Awesome.
It's time to go Goodwill hunting.